Hey Felipe, you can see the screen? Haha! Nice! Did it! Haha! Wow, am I happy. Alright, so yeah, you see my YouTube screen right here. This is what the live streaming screen from the YouTube creator side looks like. So yeah, all good to go. J-Dog! Alright, so the reason why I did this is because I need to make a video really quickly, even though it took me a real long time to do this, because I need to get off and I need to do something as far as, you know, I basically have a conference call from overseas. So I put it off about a half hour, 45 minutes, but I don't want to put it off anymore. So let's just kind of dive right into it. And I'm going to try to be doing more of these in the future because it just helps me out. I think it helps you guys out too. It's mutually equitable. So, hey, let's go ahead and do it. So let's just pull up some charts here real quick. And yeah, actually, I'm going to have to reformat this in the future because I'm not going to be able to see your comments while I actually have this other chart up. But anyway, we'll get this better as things as time moves on. So what do we have going on right now? This is a daily chart, okay? Clearly daily chart on Bitcoin, and a few things that I want to mention here real quick right off the bat, okay? We have this differentiation between chart patterns on these various different indices, and I mentioned this on a video earlier today, but this is really where it starts making a lot of sense to really start looking at various different exchanges at the same time. And I'm going to try to actually flip-flop between this and the comments because I can't really see both of them at the same time. I just didn't really think it was going to work. It was kind of a Hail Mary pass at the last second to get this live streaming up, so I don't have things set up on separate monitors. So excuse me for that, but I'll definitely get it better the second time around. So yeah, we're looking at Bitstamp right now, but if you also look at Bitfinex, and you look at Coinbase, and obviously a bunch of the other exchanges that are out there as well, you can see right now on Bitstamp where we're sitting far away from this bottom trend line here. But if you look at the other exchanges, like for example Bitfinex, we're much closer, and even Coinbase, we're even closer. They're even that much more. So I'm not going to go over too much Elliott wave theory right now because of the fact that I got to make this kind of short and sweet, but I wanted to get something out here for you guys. So what are we seeing right now? We're seeing a lot of bearishness, right? Bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle again, right? And this is obviously the daily candle that has basically just opened just about an hour ago, an hour or two ago. So which is obviously right here. So what we are looking for is something to happen, okay? Clearly something needs to happen. I know it sounds pretty simple and stupid to say, but something needs to happen in order for us to see what type of market direction we're going to go. I'm looking at this one right now at Bitstamp. It's probably the more difficult out of the exchanges right now, so I'd rather go ahead and look at something that's a little bit more difficult than something that's a little easier. And the reason why it's a little bit more difficult is because we are sitting further away from this red line, okay, this red trend line, which is drawn in a very similar fashion on all the exchanges that I have seen, that I've shown you just prior. So let's actually, I'm real curious. What are the comments look like? Cool. All right. So you specify 20K, 30. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at that another time. I'm sorry, just right now I just cannot look at it. I do have to get out of here as really quickly as possible. But yeah, I have my buy order at BTC of 1400 all in. Yeah. Yeah. So what we're also seeing right now is that I'm going to look at this on an hourly basis, and on an hourly basis, we are looking at a, pretty much like a double bottom, right here, double bottom. Okay, and one way, as I mentioned in previous videos, that you could count this whole thing is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down of a larger fashion. In other words, of a larger count. And what I would think is that this would kind of be the fifth wave right here. Okay, something like this. And right now we're basically stuck at this level about 7,812 because we're making a double bottom right here. What I'm thinking is the market's saying, "Oh man, if we get below this low right here," and I don't know why it's this low right this second. Maybe it has to do with something with Fibonacci. Let's take a look at our famous Italian friend right here. Yeah, I mean, basically we're sitting at the 786, okay? That makes total sense. So sitting at the 786, and what most people are probably thinking, either explicitly or implicitly, they're thinking, well, if we come down much further from this point forward, then yeah, clearly then we're going to make this low right here. And if we make this low right here, well, then what's next? Well, then this is next, right? And then if we go down below that, then what's next? This is next right here, around, let's call it around the 6,000 level. So I think that's what's in everybody's mind. I think that's what the market sentiment is right now, and that's the reason why we have this double bottom right here. Okay, but still, I'm kind of looking for this fifth wave to come down and touch somewhere around here, okay? And it's a similar fashion when it comes to the other exchanges. You can look at the other exchanges and kind of extrapolate from there. So next, what do I want to go ahead and take a look at? Yeah, I mean, you could look at this whole thing as a descending triangle. I don't completely love it, but you can look at that. You can look at it that way. One of the things that I'm going to be doing as if and when we go ahead and we kind of start coming back down here is looking for timing, and I'm going to look at timing from a Laguerre RSI basis. Okay, let's see if there's anything anybody's saying real quick. Thanks, guys. All right, so sorry, I'm just so curious. I'm just so curious. I just love this stuff. Anyway, so what is also kind of telling me about a bit about a sentiment right here is the fact that volume is decreasing. And sometimes this happens, not sometimes, it almost always happens right as we are getting to the point. In other words, we're approaching the point or converging to the point of a decision point in the market. So the market just kind of almost comes in for a landing as far as volume is concerned, and then there's a big burst, right? Like somebody just set off a bunch of fireworks, and that's what I think is happening here too. All right. So I do want to update on some of these resistance levels. I mean, the 1 hour resistance level has worked out lovely for us right now. But we are going to change that from 8,183. We're going to change that to 7,958. All right, 7,000. Sorry, I probably should have done this beforehand. You guys don't need to sit here and watch a live video where I'm going ahead and I'm typing things out. I think everybody can believe that I actually are typing things out. 4 hour resistance. 4 hour resistance. The bar is still open. Okay, where 4 hour resistance is 8,416, but the bar is still open on the 4 hour resistance. And you know something? I'm just gonna actually just write it in here in the text box, a similar way which I did on a daily basis. The bar is still open, but what I would be looking for is it to be somewhere around 8,148. Okay, and so 8,148 is basically right here, right? It's just about the tops right here. All right. Next, on a daily basis, we are looking at 8,907. Okay, so this has come down quite a bit, 8,907. But, big but, even though we have 8,907, if the market were to stay at the same price that it is right now, or go lower, I would look to go ahead and update that daily resistance level to 8,439. I'm just trying to give you guys a looking glass into the future, but it can and it will change depending on where the market goes. So this sets us up pretty well. You know, we have the 55 the 55 EMA, which is kind of like snaking along here, along these tops right here. And in order for a break to the upside, I would look to see that we actually kind of break this 55 EMA. This is on a 1 hour basis, and we break it pretty decisively. Another thing too is that, you know, on balance volume, I had drawn this this line right here, this trend line right here, where we had this blip. Okay, just to show you kind of guys how volume can work. Right? Remember we had this big huge blip in volume, but it didn't do anything in the candle. But on balance volume tended to bounce up, and then it came back down again. You have to watch for these things. The institutional traders are going to be all over this stuff. Wait for confirmation. Don't rush into things. Okay? And if you do rush into things, the most you should rush into things, in other words, the way in which you should rush into things the most is, at least in my opinion, is by laddering in. Okay? Laddering in, setting your stops, and explicitly understanding where you want your stops to be. Not just to set it and forget it. Like that Ronco freaking commercial for they used to sell freaking, you know, machines like these huge toasters. They would be like a spit, and you could put like a turkey on it or something like that, or a chicken. So, you know, and they always had the setting: set it and forget it. You don't want to set it and forget it in trading, because if you set it and forget it, you can forget about your account. Okay, you got to set it, and you got to understand where your stop losses are. So, in the event that I'm seeing some bullishness coming through the market, okay, and you know, let's say I start layering in my trades, okay, I'll set a loss. You know, let's say for example, right, the average of my laddering is somewhere around here, about 7,100. Okay, I'm gonna set my stop loss probably like 6,700. Okay, but I'm targeting something big. Okay, I'm targeting something all the way up here. Let's call it about 9,000. Okay, that's where I'm targeting. Now on the reverse side, okay, to the short side, you know, I'm waiting for something to come down here. Okay, I want to see what happens below this level right here, the 73.66. Okay, in the event, let's say for example, sorry to roll back real quick here, but in the event this thing tends to start ticking up, cool, no problem. Okay, it's going to tell us a lot more about Elliott wave theory, and we'll be able to go ahead and get into you know, the bottom of the second or the beginning of the third wave and move on from there. I will be totally happy by doing that, but I'm not trying to get in earlier than understanding what's going on with this wave right here and what's going on with this level right here. Okay, and then I'll start making my decision as we go ahead and we start approaching this level right here, if we get to this level right here. So what was I talking about? Shorting. So shorting, you know, my target for shorting would be, it's pretty straightforward, would be right here. Call it 5,900. Okay, that would be my target. And if you're gonna go start shorting stuff, you know, you have to. Sorry about right-clicking all the time. It's from another application that I use, another charting application that I use. You have to move around your chart with your right-click. Anyway, but anyway, I mean, you know, you want your stop loss probably to be like the bottom right over here, right? If you're shorting this, the bottom right over here, let's call it about 73, 77, right? So that's going to give you a pretty good, you know, profit loss ratio. So what else is there? That's really about it for right this second. You know, use a Laguerre RSI. Laguerre RSI is freaking, you know, genius for kind of timing these trades and really understanding kind of where are we right now as far as, you know, the market kind of having the tendency to move up or the tendency to move down. The other RSI, in other words, a normal RSI, straight up RSI, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to put it in here real quick and show you guys if there's anything that I am looking at. And yes, clearly, obviously, what we're looking at is directly this right here. Okay, we have this downward sloping trend. All right. Although, you know, it is right now, we are kind of sloping back up again. But, you know, again, another decision point for where the market needs to possibly start making a move, either higher or lower, and only time is going to tell what it's going to do. So I think that's really about it for right now. There's nothing too major I really want to speak about just yet. Elliott wave theory stuff is for a whole other different video. I'm sorry, guys, but I just don't have the time right now to do. Oh, man, there is something else. My God, I almost totally forgot. All right, so look at this right here, right? Look at this. Okay, look at this. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Come on. Okay? 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of similarities with this pattern, and this happened in 2013. Okay? There's a lot of similarities with this pattern, right? I mean, who's to say that this is not today? In other words, not today, but I mean like the current sell-off that we had, right? This is the beauty of charts, the beauty of all markets, fractals, whatever you want to call it, okay? Or the human nature, or just nature. This is just nature. That's what we're looking at here. There's a lot of similarities with this with respect to our chart, okay? A lot of similarities. So you can start comparing what's going on here. Let me look at this actually on a... oh, man, screw you, chart. Let's look at this on a daily basis. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Similar trend line drawn. Okay. I mean, obviously, we would be kind of somewhere around here right now based on where we are in the market right now. And, you know, looking to see what's going to happen specifically on this trend line right here, and the market falls off, okay? And then it slowly starts going sideways, and then it starts moving up again. This is not out of the question for us to have a similar pattern on what we're doing, okay? It's, as far as right now where we are. I mean, this is at prices of Bitcoin, let's say $200, right? I mean, it got up to about 1150. Okay, look at the bottom that came down here, right? This bottom that came down here came down to critical points where the rally first started. So, you know, you guys can. This is kind of food for thought for you guys. You know, I know I'm not handing it to you on a platter, but I want you guys to kind of do your own homework and understand. But I just want to point that out. For right now. So I mean, this is a daily on obviously on Bitcoin, but Laguerre still has a little bit more to run. So, you know, take a look, look back in the past and see how many times the Laguerre has not crossed from one side to the other. Okay, where it's made like a move like this, you know, kind of almost got to the bottom and then came back over, right? Not too often, really not too often. So who's to say that it's going to happen now? It's going to basically stop on a dime and go up from here. Probability is low. So, I mean, that's the way I'm tilting things. So, I think we're going to leave it there for right now, guys. I have to hop. I'm very, very sorry, but I have a conference call in China, and I already put it off, and I'm sure they're not going to like it. So, let's leave it there for right now. I got 95 people watching. My God. No, Nick, you're the man. But thanks a lot for all the great comments, guys. And you guys, you know, really supporting me. Kind of keeps me energized at 10:40 p.m. after a long day, you know, at work and stuff like that. Yeah, we will hopefully be having more and more of these in the future. Speak to you guys soon, and have a great night.